you didn't challenge yourself academically.
Gymnastics national champion. And my father is Cuban and in a wheelchair.
This week is actually a key week for high school students across America who are applying to selective colleges. Here's a few things you might not have known are on the minds of college admissions officers as they're weighing your application. I took a look at 128 schools around the country that admit less than 35% of their applicants. These are the selective schools and the very selective schools of America. At 64 of these schools, men got admitted at a slightly higher rate than women. You might find a college campus where 55% of the undergraduates are women, and that might go into the thinking of the admissions office when they're deciding how to assemble their class. A lot of students might ask themselves, well, should I take a class where I think I'm pretty much going to get an A, or should I try to take the tougher class where I might not be guaranteed an A? Now, the admissions officer at the selective school might then reply, you should take the tough class and get an A. But, you know, we live in the real world. What I hear from the professionals is they're looking for students who really want to challenge themselves. At George Washington University, they actually tally up the number of AP courses you take, the number of IB courses you take, the number of honors courses you take, and they compare that to the offerings at the school. Even if you get a B, they want to know how much you took advantage of the rigor that was offered by the school. I think a lot of students feel like they're only going to take 3 students from my high school, so it's going to be really hard for me. And that's just not true if you talk to admissions officers. Having said that, the admissions officers often pay attention to how students compare to each other at a given high school. How does this student do compared to the course offerings at this school? How did this other classmate do? Being in the middle of the pack in grades or in rigor of your course schedule does not necessarily mean that you're in the middle of the pack when it comes to deciding whether to accept you. These schools, they're looking at things that make you distinctive and stand out. Those hooks will actually elevate your chances of getting in, oftentimes in many of the selective schools.